Questions and concerns remain about whether abortion ban laws impact fertility treatments. That took center stage after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in June. Although none of the anti-abortion laws have directly impacted in vitro fertilization, doctors and patients are fearful that new laws could be introduced that do. Newsy national correspondent Stephanie Sandoval is live in Nashville tonight, where the Tennessee Attorney General recently made an announcement clarifying the status of fertilized eggs. Hey, Stephanie.
Lindsay, yes, he did. And an infertility advocacy group told me that the fight isn't over, and they fear that new laws could be introduced next in some states legislatures next session that could put barriers on IVF. And so what they're doing is they're going to be launching a new campaign, bringing those family stories straight to lawmakers.
The U.S. Supreme Court's reversal of Roe v. Wade in June kicked off a discussion about when life begins, sparking fears from the IVF community. In Tennessee, which has one of the strictest abortion bans in the country, those fears prompted the state's attorney general to put out an opinion in October that says disposal of fertilized human embryos that have not been transferred to a woman's uterus is not against the law and does not qualify as an abortion.
For those of you in the state of Tennessee that are planning on doing IVF, I just wanted to forewarn you.
The opinion came after Tennessee resident Sarah Chambers published a video that went viral on TikTok showing the conversation she had with her state representative over the disposal of human embryos.
He said that the law, it is mute to IVF, but then he moved to say that the discarding of embryos is separate and that they do see that as an unborn child as life, even though the fertilization happens outside of the womb. So discarding those embryos is in violation of the law.
It wasn't until later that she found out it wouldn't be in violation of the law. That state representative later apologized.
I want to say that I feel better knowing that IVF is not going to be attacked by this new law, but I don't feel better at all.
While laws may not explicitly link IVF and abortion, groups that support abortion rights worry that new legislation might, as the definition of personhood evolves legally. Executives for Americans United for Life, an anti-choice group, have criticized IVF in testimony before state panels. The 50-year-old Washington-based group describes what it calls, quote, human embryo destroying IVF treatments as unethical. Resolve, the National Infertility Association, is launching a campaign called Fight for Families in anticipation of laws being introduced that could potentially impact IVF. Barbara Kulora, the president and CEO of Resolve, says the campaign will share stories of patients who have used IVF or need IVF to grow their family so that access to IVF remains legal and available.
What's the message that you guys are trying to send to lawmakers?
When legislators start hearing from their constituents that this is a big deal, that there are a lot of people who need IVF, there are a lot of people who might need this access to care, and if you're going to try and restrict it, you're preventing me from having a baby. You're preventing me from building my family. That's a very powerful message for a legislator to hear, and we know it does change minds.
Infertility treatment advocates like Kulora worry fetal personhood laws could make it very difficult to do IVF because they grant embryos and fetuses the same rights as those already born.
If you are conferring the rights to an embryo as if they are a living human being, meaning they are a person, can you freeze a person? Can you do genetic testing on a person? What if somebody chose to discard their embryos? Would that be murder? We don't know. What we believe is that if an embryo is a person, it will be very, very difficult to do IVF to the standard of care that is needed and that results in the best outcomes.
Kulora says they're going to stay vigilant and keep an eye out on any new proposed legislation that may come up. Here in Tennessee, lawmakers head back the second week of January. Back to you.
All right, Stephanie Sandoval in Nashville. Thank you.